Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We are looking at Mara once again. Mara was up 8.29% today, so you're having a great day if you're watching this video today. Bitcoin must have been up significantly. Not quite sure actually, but I believe that it must be because there is a actually this has a weird correlation to Bitcoin considering that this is supposed to be a Bitcoin specific thing. This has a negative correlation to Bitcoin, which I would not expect. But regardless, it is up 8.29% today. It's still down 1.6% over the past week, 2.43% over the past 3 weeks, and down 30% over the past month. Wow. You really got to love volatility if you trade Bitcoin and crypto. Over the past 3 months, it's down 6.05%, and over the past 6 months, it's up 192%, in 1 year, 167%. Boy, oh boy, if you have held through this whole thing, you have the stomach of a champion. Let's go ahead and look at the raw data here. So on the raw data, what we can see is that we do have green. We have a green background with black lettering, which means that we're currently in our standard distribution range. We are back up above our 5-day moving average. We're still below the 23-day moving average. We do see that we're getting a little bit of volume to return. We're well over essentially 40 million shares traded consistently every single day. It looks like we do see that our volatility is starting to rise. I'm very curious to see what that will do because volatility rising in a stock like this, specifically with what we've seen since the middle of December of 2023, I think is actually good because when the vol started rising, we started getting this chop back and forth. And now what I'm expecting is that as the vol is rising, we could definitely see us hit what will be the top of the range. We'll cover the range at the back end of this call. If we're looking here at the short term, intermediate term, and longer term signals, we are go short. We have essentially lost to go short in the short term and longer term so far, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll go away long term. But I think actually, nope. I think it's going to go away long term. Now, as I'm looking at this, because we have bullishness in the short term and bullishness in the longer term in terms of the sentiment, and we've got two of them back to back. If that can hold tomorrow, I'll be very, very consistently like long this. We're looking at the rolling sentiment. We're still bearish, which is actually very good because I want to see the flip. We look like we're going to flip to above 50% in the 10-day bullishness and above 52% in the 23-day bullishness as of tomorrow. That's very positive to see. But look at the overall trading signals. What I love is that we're essentially equal in the bull key 3 and bear key 3. We do have more of the bull key 3 if you add up those most recent days. If we think about what we're going to see, though, now that we have a swift bolt, we're probably going to see a bunch of those flip because I imagine that we're going to see this flip positive, this flip positive, this flip positive. We're going to receive a bunch of these individual signals as well as more bullishness. That is definitely going to add to some of these bulky 3. I forget exactly which of the indicators we're looking at, but it's a composite of a bunch of them. Now, if we go ahead and look at the actual charts here, we can see this is more of an up-close version. Again, the type of moves that you've been seeing in Mara are very indicative of cryptocurrencies and specifically small-cap cryptocurrencies. I mean, this is a $5 billion company, but I mean, what's that in crypto? If we look at the overall sentiment, it is nice to see that we see a little bit of the bullishness pushing up above that 15-day moving average, as well as pushing up above 50%. Want to see that bullishness return. Do not necessarily like to see that we've seen the volume decreasing here. One of the positives I'd say is that because the price has been falling, or at least really volatile, it's nice to see that the volume has decreased because it means that it's probably going to return as we see breakouts. We see the volatility starting to rise exactly as I expected. The correlation is high and staying incredibly plateaued. This thing loves volatility. The higher the vol, the higher the price can go. Now, if we look at the overall range, and I brought this up earlier in terms of what I think is important, the top of the range is coming down. That is one of the parts that I do not like about this. The bottom of the range is moving up. The thing about this, though, is I'd need to see the top of the range get to higher high. If it was the highest of all time, I'd be even happier. So if I got above 35, right now we're at what, 31.42. The price is somewhere in the middle at 22.07. I do expect us to see a move to the top. Now, I do want to call out specifically that I'm getting this data from Google, and if you've watched in my previous videos, you know that Google can be kind of finicky. So what I'm doing is I'm actually building an app. I'm building a Chrome extension that I want to make available. Now, I don't have the ability to necessarily make it available to you now because I did code it myself. I am a god with ChatGPT. But when I look at at what I think is here, it's the most valuable stuff out of this whole model. We've got the close price with the shading based off of where it is in its range. We've got the volume with the same shading based on where it is in its range. We've got the sentiment. We've got the 20-day rolling average. And then we have the buy bottom and the sell top. Now, these are going to be different prices because I've actually updated it. So you can look, we've got 1448 here. This is going to be what, 1366. So it's even higher range in this. And the reason why it is because I've actually updated the way that I calculate the ranges. I just don't want to do it in this model, specifically because now that I'm coding it. Now, if you're interested in getting this, it is a new product that I have. It is $25 a month. You will not necessarily be able to access the Chrome extension just yet, but what you'll receive every single day is you're going to receive a list. And the list is going to be all of these individual stocks with their price, their volume, their trend, their rolling 20-day average, their higher high, their trade range, and recent comments. Now, once I have enough to be able to pay a developer to finish this portion of it that I can't code because I have a full-time job, We will turn this into an extension that you are able to download and use yourself. So if you're like, I want to look at Google, you want to look at any random stock at any specific point, you can go ahead and do that. If you were like, I want to see what's going on in Carvana, because Carvana is a crazy company, and I want to see what the range is, and I want to know when did that thing flip bullish, and that thing flipped bullish at $55 on February 12th, and now that thing is at $90. Wow, what a move in Carvana in a month. But this is what I'm trying to give you. So if you're interested, please, down in the description, I'm going to have a link that specifically takes you to the Evening Equity Insights. Again, there's a 1 month free trial if you're interested, but it will be $25 a month. And then every single day, you will receive this updated list of all of these tickers as well as the sector. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a great day.